It was cold, dead quiet, the kind of quiet that feels wrong. In the early hours of January 27th, 2025, an explosion shattered the silence in the small Dutch town of Assen. Not the chaos of war, not terrorism, but a precision strike launched not by soldiers, but by thieves. Their target wasn't money. It was gold, ancient gold. Gold that had survived the fall of empires, the rise of Christianity, and the passage of 2,000 years. And in less than 4 minutes, it was gone. No alarms, no witnesses, no suspects. This wasn't just a heist. This was a story of identity, legacy, and something deeper, a battle over who owns the past. The stolen items weren't just shiny artifacts in a glass box. They were the bones of a culture long buried, the fingerprints of a people who had vanished into time. They belonged to the Dacians, a civilization both feared and respected by ancient Rome. The Dacians were mysterious even to their enemies. They practiced a form of spirituality that mixed shamanism with astronomy. Their temples were aligned with the stars. Their warriors fought like men possessed, believing death was just the beginning. And their gold? It wasn't ornamental, it was sacred. The heist took 4 Dacian spiral bracelets, forged with an advanced technique still baffling to metallurgists. 2 ornate fibulae, worn by Dacian chieftains and believed to have magical properties. A golden torque, a neck ring made from twisted rods of pure Dacian gold, the kind reserved for kings or high priests. Wolf-shaped pendants, symbolizing their divine protector, the wolf-dragon spirit Zalmoxis. Each artifact held its own legend. One of the bracelets was said to have been buried in a sacred mountain, sealed in a chamber only accessible during the solstice. Another fibula bore an inscription in a lost language. Some believe it was a code only decipherable by starlight. These weren't trinkets, they were keys to forgotten knowledge, and now they were in the hands of ghosts. At exactly 3:29 a.m., CCTV footage captured the first flicker of motion. A dark van parked 2 blocks from the museum. Its license plates had been cloned from a construction vehicle registered hundreds of kilometers away. A minute later, a small blast tore through the museum's eastern maintenance access, just enough to disable the door without alerting surrounding buildings. 3 figures moved with military discipline. One disabled the remaining sensors with what appeared to be a frequency jammer. Another used a thermal lens to map security beams in real time. The third, he had the blueprints. They didn't touch the modern exhibits, not the Van Gogh sketches, not the rare 17th century maps. They walked straight to the Dacian room, straight to the case. In under 30 seconds, the case was lifted using suction tools and vibration dampeners. The glass panel was removed without a sound. They placed the artifacts into custom-built, anti-static, lead-lined briefcases. Why lead-lined? Possibly to avoid X-ray detection. These weren't your average burglars. These were professionals. But what haunts investigators to this day is what wasn't stolen. A 5th bracelet remained. It was identical to the 4 stolen ones, yet they left it. Why? A message? A misstep? Or something more deliberate? The Roman Empire conquered over 50 million people, but the Dacians were different. Their capital, Sarmizegetusa Regia, sat high in the Orashti Mountains. It was a fortress built from massive stone slabs, perfectly interlocked without mortar. Its walls weren't just defensive. They were acoustically tuned to carry chants across the valley. The Dacians believed their kings could communicate with the gods. They used crystal lenses for astronomy. They had no currency system. Gold was too sacred to be traded. They buried their treasures, not to hoard wealth, but to return it to the earth. The Romans feared them. It took 2 full campaigns, led by Emperor Trajan himself, to crush Dacian resistance in 106 AD. Even then, many Dacians vanished into the forests and mountains, taking their secrets with them. Historians believe over 200 metric tons of gold were extracted from Dacian lands, but less than 10% has ever been found. What if the robbery wasn't just about gold? What if it was about something hidden within it? Investigators found no DNA, no prints, no forensic trail, but they did find anomalies. The night of the robbery, Assen's cellular network was disrupted for exactly 5 minutes, centered around the museum's coordinates. A week before the theft, one of the curators received an email, encrypted and unsigned. It contained only one line: "The wolves are watching. Protect the bloodline." She dismissed it as spam. Later, she disappeared from public view. To this day, she refuses interviews. A former Europol analyst who chose to remain anonymous said, "We weren't dealing with common criminals. This felt like a religious operation. Every move had symbolism. Every second was choreographed." Some even believe the robbers performed a ritual before leaving, placing a small Dacian coin under the broken glass case. It wasn't from the museum. It was from an unrecovered hoard, believed to be cursed. Theory 1. The Pink Panthers. A loose network of Balkan jewel thieves known for impossible heists. Their signature: quick, quiet, surgical. They've hit targets in Tokyo, Paris, Dubai, but never ancient artifacts, and never without selling them. Theory 2. Ultranationalist reclaimers. In Romania, a group known as Lupii Străveci, the Ancient Wolves, has grown more vocal. They see Dacian relics as national property. Some believe they're funded by wealthy patriots or rogue state actors. The group denies involvement but praises the heist as karma. Theory 3. Private collector. A billionaire obsessed with Dacian culture. No proof, just whispers. But in the underworld, collectors pay millions for exclusivity, not to resell, just to own something no one else ever will. Theory 4. Occult connections. A stretch, but not impossible. Some believe the artifacts hold esoteric knowledge, that the Dacians encoded astronomical data, ritual formulas, or even ancient diseases into the engravings. The idea is fringe, but not unheard of. No theory explains everything. The Drents Museum faced massive scrutiny. Its director resigned. Dutch cultural institutions reviewed over 4,000 security protocols. Romania demanded the immediate return of all remaining Dacian artifacts. In Romania, the theft became a rallying cry. Street murals depicted the bracelets as halos. One viral video showed a young girl saying, "The wolves are coming home." Even mainstream media began to ask, should any country hold the sacred objects of another? And perhaps most chilling, 2 other museums reported attempted breaches, one in Berlin, the other in Vienna. Neither succeeded, but both were storing Dacian artifacts. There is one final theory, the most speculative, but the most poetic. Some historians believe the Dacians saw gold not as currency, but as a mirror, a material that could reflect the divine. They believed that certain gold patterns could focus energy, store memory, or even trap souls. It sounds absurd, until you look closer at one of the stolen torques. Using micro-CT scans, researchers had discovered that the inside of the torque contained a spiral structure only visible under high-frequency light. Some believe it was a primitive storage device, an ancient golden USB. Why would modern thieves know this? Unless they weren't thieves, they were believers. Somewhere, far from Assen, far from the cameras, the artifacts remain, not destroyed, not sold, but revered. Maybe in a private vault beneath a mountain, maybe in the hands of a group preparing for something, or maybe they were never meant to be found in the first place. Because sometimes history doesn't want to be remembered, it wants to be reborn.